Stardew Valley has sold over 30 million copies, making it the 4th best-selling indie game of all time. And I have never played it. So today we find out if a first-time Stardew Valley player can earn perfection by getting the Platinum Trophy. Not only does this require me to ship and craft every item, but I also have to catch every fish, cook every dish, and find every star drop. But none of these come close to what might possibly be the hardest trophy I have ever had to earn in my life. The game starts out with a bang as we find out that our grandpa has just died, which kinda sucks, but it sucks a whole lot less when we learn that we are inheriting his entire farm.
It's free real estate.
Here we get a real taste of the farmer lifestyle as we chop down some trees, clear out some weeds, and eventually plant and water our very first crops. And although this game is primarily a farming simulator, there is a ton of different things that we can do. And on day 2, we get to try one of those, being fishing. Fishing is actually one of the most important aspects of Stardew Valley, and for some reason, it is also one of the hardest.
Wow, I'm dog shit.
But despite our struggles, we eventually caught our 10th fish, which earned us our very first trophy.
Yes, fisherman. Catch 10 different fish. There we go. Very first trophy.
There are actually 3 more trophies associated with fishing, but luckily it will get easier as we gradually increase our fishing level. See, in Stardew Valley, there are 5 different skills, tied to 5 different gameplay elements. We have to max out all of these to level 10 to get another trophy, but thankfully every time we perform a skill, we will get XP. For example, catching a fish gives us fishing XP, and harvesting crops gives us farming XP. And speaking of, our parsnips had finally grown, meaning we could harvest them and sell them for gold. And being the money-hungry farmer I am, I sold all of them, even the gold quality ones. This would end up being a pretty big mistake, because the next day, Mayor Lewis introduced us to the community center, a rundown building that he has tasked us with repairing. And when we do that, we would get the trophy Local Legend. Inside the community center, there are different bundles that require us to donate specific items. One of those items was, yep, you guessed it, gold quality parsnips. But right now, that didn't even matter, as we couldn't even begin completing bundles until we learnt this secret language. So we did what any reasonable person would do and went and visited the local wizard, who gave us the most cooked ayahuasca ever. And I don't know what was in it. DMT, LSD, magic mushrooms, maybe all 3. But whatever it was, it made us trip balls. So much so that we even managed to somehow learn this new language. But before we could begin working on the bundles, we had to name our new pet dog, which you guys actually voted for in a community poll. And the top comment on what we should name this dog was Jimothy Neutrinos. Sadly, that name was too long, so now it's just Jimothy. What a good boy. I promise I won't neglect you for the next 3 years. The 13th of spring is a huge day in Stardew Valley, as it's the day of the annual Egg Festival, where we could participate in the egg hunt, which is quite frankly completely rigged. It's 100% total BS, because somehow we lost to some purple-haired chick named Abigail.
Now, man, I lost to Abigail, bro. Next year, I'm back. I'm coming back next year for vengeance.
Well, at least we were able to buy a bunch of strawberry seeds from Pierre. This would be our primary money crop for spring, and money is really important. In fact, we need to make over 10 million gold for the Legend Trophy. And after planting and harvesting our first bunch of strawberries, we made a small dent in that total by reaching 15k.
Yes, greenhorn. There we go. We have earned 15,000 gold, baby. Let's go!
Up to this point, I had been exploring and meeting a bunch of the different villages in Stardew Valley. And what's awesome is that each villager has their own friendship meter that is displayed using hearts. We can increase the amount of hearts we have by simply talking to villagers each day and giving them gifts up to twice a week. This will be quite vital, as we need to get 20 of them to at least 5 hearts for the trophy popular and 8 to 10 hearts for the beloved farmer. But at this point, we pretty much had no friends, which meant that at the flower dance, we had to sit in the corner by ourselves, Maidenless. Each season in Stardew Valley has its own set of crops, and as we entered summer, we noticed that all our spring crops had died. So we made our way over to Pierre's shop and bought all the different summer seeds. A mistake I made in spring was not only failing to farm up 5 gold star parsnips, but I also forgot to plant green beans, meaning we can't complete the bundles that require them until next spring. But see, that's the beauty of Stardew Valley. You can do everything at your own pace, but I would be lying to you if I said that this didn't piss me off.
Oh, I'm such a idiot, man.
So we planted all our summer crops with the main focus being on blueberries. Just like the strawbs, they would be our primary money crop as they yield the most gold per day. We also went around and grabbed all the new summer forageables for that bundle in the community center. And then we went and fished up a lot of the summer exclusive fish. And whilst doing that, we managed to catch our 100th fish.
Hey, mother catch. Catch 100 fish. Beautiful.
Back in spring, we discovered this cave up north which led into the mines. Just like farming and fishing, mining is another key element of Stardew Valley. And for reaching the very bottom of the mines, we would receive a trophy. In the mines, we can find various ores, mainly being copper, silver, and gold. But also down here are various different enemies that we have to deal with. Just outside the mines is the Adventurers Guild. In here, we can find a list known as the monster eradication goals. Throughout our playthrough, we're gonna have to complete all of these for another trophy, but our main focus for now was mining as much ore as possible, as we were in desperate need of sprinklers. These would water our crops for us, meaning we don't have to spend precious time and energy each morning tending our plants. Speaking of, by the 16th of summer, all our crops had grown, meaning we could complete the summer crops bundle. And on the 18th, we would have our second blueberry harvest, and after shipping that entire harvest, we would earn our next 2 trophies.
Cowpoke. Beautiful. 50k gold. Hey, and monoculture. I don't know what that one's for. Ship 300 of one crop. Beautiful. That'd be the blueberries.
We got Robin to build us a coop shortly after. This is where we would be able to keep our first farm animals, chickens. And for community center completion, we're gonna need to buy and max out most of them. In the meantime, we steered our focus to mining, with the main goal being getting as much iron, gold, and coal as possible. But whilst down here, we were also accumulating quite a few geodes. These geodes can sometimes drop when breaking stones, and we can then take them to the blacksmith Clint, who will break them open for us. Doing so would more often than not reward us with minerals, which we could then take next door and donate to the museum. Here we can also donate items called artifacts, which we can find by digging up artifact spots that appear on the ground or by opening treasure chests that we get when fishing. Fully completing the museum's collection would earn us this trophy here. By the end of summer, I finally decided to decorate my farm, because quite frankly, it looks like shit. And whilst doing so, I managed to earn my next trophy, DIY.
Hey, DIY. Craft 15 different items.
We then continue preparing the farm for the season ahead, and with the new season comes new crops. And in fall, we would mainly be growing pumpkins and cranberries. On the 2nd, we got introduced to the special orders board, where once a week we can accept a quest from various villages. These orders are quite important, as there are several crafting recipes locked behind completing certain quests. And of course, one of the hardest trophies in the game requires us to craft every item, meaning we need to get every recipe. Next, we managed to make some decent bundle progression, even completing the boiler room.
Oh, please tell me this gives me coal, because holy fuck do I need it.
Yeah, I had no coal, meaning I couldn't smelt any of the ore that I was mining. So I spent a lot of my time in the mines trying to get as much coal as I could. And doing so, I even managed to reach floor 100, which rewarded us with our first star drop. You found a star drop. It's strange, but the taste reminds you of people subbing. Damn straight it does. This will give me a small boost to my energy meter and is one of 7 that I need to collect for another trophy. Funny enough, we would be able to get our second shortly after this, as at the Stardew Valley Fair, we can buy a star drop from Pierre for 2,000 star tokens. We can earn these tokens by competing in the slingshot and fishing mini games, as well as the Grange display. But personally, I had a better method: gambling. But for all intents and purposes, this really isn't gambling because it's completely fucking rigged. And you know what's the best part? I didn't know that.
This is bullshit.
See, there is a 75% chance that the wheel will always land on green, but in my experience, it was more like 95%. And after discovering that, I was able to turn my small amount of tokens into a great fortune, allowing me to buy my second star drop. Our decorating of the farm also included adding a few new crop fields, which meant that we could harvest more crops and earn more farming XP. And we actually did this enough to get our farming skill to level 10.
Singular talent.
Getting level 10 farming is actually kind of a big deal, as this allows us to choose the artisan profession, which increases the sell price of artisan goods. This is how we were going to make some serious coin, as by crafting kegs and preserve jars, we can turn our crops into wines, pickles, and jellies, which can double and triple the sell price of our fruit and veg. Sadly, it would be some time before we had an abundance of kegs and preserve jars, because to craft them, we need a lot of materials, with the main one being coal. And I kinda hate mining for coal, but guess what I hate less? Fishing. And that's what we did all day on the 19th. And whilst doing that, we would get our next fishing trophy.
Hey, old mariner. That is catching 24 different types of fish. Let's go.
Outside of Pierre's shop, we can find the Help Wanted board, where we can accept daily quests from villagers. We would need to complete 40 of these to get this trophy here, but in the meantime, we would get another one just for completing our 10.
Hey, Gopher. Complete 10 Help Wanted requests.
On top of this, we also bought our first house upgrade, which not only means that we can start cooking food, but this also earns me a trophy.
Yes. Moving up. I think our house is finished. Yep. Upgrade your house.
By the end of fall, we had a ton of cranberries and pumpkins stocked up. And the reason for that was because in winter, we can't grow any crops. Now, if we had completed the pantry bundles in the community center, we would have unlocked the greenhouse, where we could have grown any crops from any season. But of course, I fumbled the bag back in spring, meaning that that wasn't going to happen. Lucky for us, we could still make money through our farm animals by turning their products into artisan goods. But the real money would come by slowly turning all those cranberries and pumpkins into wine and juice. And it didn't take long to reap our rewards, as we managed to cross over 250 grand earned.
Yes, homesteader. That's for getting 250,000 gold. Let's go.
Obviously, we can't grow crops in winter. So what can we do? Well, for one, we can take this time to upgrade our tools at Clint's, like our axe, our watering can, and even my ex-girlfriend. But what I would mainly be focusing on was getting as many hearts with villagers as I can, because, well, we still kinda had no friends.
Our friendship grind is not going well, to say the least.
So the best way to change that was to not only talk to as many villagers that I can, but also to give them at least 2 gifts that they love per week. See, each villager will have a set list of gifts that they love, like, and even hate. Giving them a loved gift will increase friendship by 80 points. And if we do this on their birthday, that number gets multiplied by 8. It didn't take long for me to figure out who loves what. For instance, Sebastian loves frozen tears, Leah loves goat cheese, and because he's a crippling alcoholic, Shane loves beer. A lot of the villagers love gems as gifts, one being Emily, and after giving her this amethyst, we would get our first friendship-related trophy.
Hey, a new friend. Reach a 5-heart friend level with someone. Emily, we're friends. Let's go.
Another goal for winter was to reach the bottom of the mines, and we were able to do this one quite easily.
One more floor, then we're at the bottom. This is it, I think. Yes, the bottom. Reach the lowest level of the mines.
In winter, artifact spots spawn way more often. Now, more times than not, they will just give out forageables, but of course, they can still produce artifacts. And we were able to get our hands on quite a few, even managing to dig up a dinosaur egg, which was pretty cool, as we can actually hatch this thing into a pet dino, which will keep on producing dinosaur eggs. Anyway, because of this, we were soon able to donate our 40th item to the museum.
Yes, treasure trove. Donate 40 different items to the museum.
We shifted our attention to fishing, as there were still quite a few fish that we needed for bundles, as well as a few that were only catchable in winter. A couple notable additions were the squid and the sturgeon. Now, we could have caught the sturgeon back in summer, but that thing was a pain to catch, so I would have struggled massively if I went for it that early. One I didn't struggle with was the wood skip that we would be able to catch in the secret woods. Now, whilst hooking this fish, I managed to get myself a treasure chest, which had a nice surprise for me.
Hey, the wood skip, that's the one we needed. And an ancient seed! What are the odds? Oh my god, let's go! That's crazy.
Yeah, this was kind of huge, because when we donate this to the museum, we would get actual ancient seeds and their recipe in return. This will eventually be our main source of income in the end game, as it's one of the highest selling crops in Stardew Valley. We then added a few things to the community center, including the wood skip, and actually managed to complete a few bundles. More importantly though, we completed the entire vault room, which would repair the bus, allowing us to finally reach the desert. Here we can meet a couple new NPCs like Sandy and the Desert Trader, and even use that key we found at the bottom of the mines to venture into the Skull Caverns. But we were going to save that for later. In the meantime, we caught a sandfish and then went home. In the morning, we checked the mail and noticed that Linus decided to send us a catfish. Logistically, I don't know how that's even possible, but we weren't complaining, as this was actually one of the missing fish that we needed for the community center. But the next fish that we were going to be chasing would be a lot harder to get than this. But before we do that, we decided to continue making friends by giving the wizard a loved gift on his birthday.
Hey, clicks. That is reach a 5-heart friend level with 4 people.
The final fishing trophy that we need is Master Angler, where we need to catch at least one of every different fish in the game. Well, 5 of those are known as the legendary fish, and they are the hardest fish in the game to catch. In winter, we can catch the glacier fish, which has the second highest difficulty rating out of any fish in the game. Although this is quite a challenge, I came prepared. I made sure to pick up the iridium rod from Willie's shop, which enables us to put tackle on our rod. The tackle I decided to use was the trap bobber, which causes the progress bar to slow down when we aren't hooking a fish. On top of that, we cooked up a meal called the Dish of the Sea. That's because certain food dishes that we can cook not only increase our health and energy, but can also increase our skill level for a short duration of time. The Dish of the Sea would increase our fishing level by 3, which doesn't seem like much, but it actually makes a huge difference. But even with all these in place, we failed again and again and again. In fact, it took me so long to catch this fish that my buff ran out. But that wouldn't even matter come attempt number 9.
Oh, 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 oh. Oh, let's go! Let's go! Glacier fish, we got it! Woo! Oh my god, that's such a relief. Man, we didn't even have the buff on. Oh, let's go!
We also managed to have some crazy luck in the mines, as an enemy we killed dropped a prismatic shard, which is a super rare mineral. And I didn't even notice this at the time, but in the same mines run, we managed to get another ancient seed, which we would then craft to make more ancient seeds.
I can turn an ancient seed into ancient seeds, which I will do, and I get artisan, which is crafting 30 different items. That's crazy. Let's go.
That prismatic shard we found would quickly come to good use, as we could take it to these pillars in the desert and exchange it for the galaxy sword. And to test out our new weapon, we decided to take it into the Skull Caverns, which essentially is a stronger version of the mines filled with tougher enemies, and is also where we can find iridium ore, one of the best ores in the game. But before we could actually get any, we died.
Oh, so fucking annoying.
We had finally made it to year 2, meaning that it was time to get serious. There were 2 things that we needed to do in spring. 1, grow the bloody crops that I forgot about last year, being the beans and the gold star parsnips. And number 2 was beating Abigail at the egg hunt. Fucking Abigail, bro. On a brighter note, we did manage to reach 5 hearts with 10 people at the Egg Festival.
Hey, networking. Reach a 5 heart friend level with 10 people.
Back in winter, we donated our 60th item to the museum, which earned us the Rusty Key. We could then take this to unlock the sewers, where we would meet a new NPC, Krobus. But more importantly, here is where we would catch our second legendary fish, the mutant carp. And compared to the glacier fish, this thing was a piece of piss. We also decided to track down a bunch of fish that we needed for our collection, those being the ghost fish, the stonefish, and the catfish, because although Linus did send us one in the mail, we still needed to catch one for the trophy. The 14th of spring is a very important day, because not only is it Haley's birthday, but it was also the day that we cooked our 10th dish, getting us the trophy Cook. Something I quickly figured out in Stardew is that it's important to check the TV every morning, because on every Sunday we would get a new cooking recipe for watching the Queen of the Sauce. But this is also how we would determine how lucky we would be for the day. Luck essentially influences everything in Stardew Valley, one of those being how often you would find staircases in the mines. So on our next good luck day, I headed straight for the Skull Caverns to see how far I could go. And this time, I made sure I had plenty of bombs and food, and made it all the way to floor 76, getting plenty of iridium ore along the way. And this little adventure even got us to mining level 10.
Prospector, chance to find coal doubled. Give me that now.
It was raining on the 25th, which kind of reminded me that I was yet to catch spring's legendary fish. Now remember how I said that the glacier fish was the second most difficult fish to catch? Well, that's because the number 1 spot is reserved for the legend. We can only catch this fish in the mountain lake when it's raining. And on top of that, our fishing level has to be at least level 10. This is where we fucked up. See, I only had level 9 fishing, and by the time I could get the ingredients and make a dish to increase my fishing level, it was 4:30, and by 7:30 my buff wore off, and in those 3 hours I didn't get a single bite from the legend. Now they say preparation prevents piss poor performance. Well, I clearly wasn't prepared, and to make things even worse, the 26th, the 27th and the 28th were all sunny days, meaning I would have to wait until next year to catch the legend. But look, there is no time to dwell, because summer is here, which means that we need to plant some crops. The last thing I need to unlock the greenhouse is 5 gold star melons. So we planted those, then immediately took a trip to the desert, because here we can buy starfruit seeds from Sandy, which we will be able to sell for a ton of gold after turning it into starfruit wine. On top of this, now that we are in year 2, Pierre will sell us red cabbage seeds, which we also need for the community center. Next, we fished up the pufferfish, super cucumber, red snapper, and even summer's legendary fish, the crimson fish. After harvesting our melons, we then submitted the 5 gold quality ones that we needed to finally unlock the greenhouse. In here, we would slowly start building out our ancient seed farm, as we could turn ancient fruit that we harvest into seeds using the seed maker. And because I was in such a good mood after unlocking the greenhouse, I even gave Abigail a gift that she loves.
Hey, popular. Reach a 5 heart friend level with 20 people. Jeez, we're getting up there.
We were becoming such good friends with some of the villagers that we were actually eligible to get into romantic relationships with some of them. And if things go right, we would eventually get to marry and make babies with said partner, which would get us the trophy Full House. So I made the executive decision to romantically pursue both Haley and Emily. Now, are they sisters? Yes. Does that make it wrong? Well, that really depends on how you pickle your peppers. And even though I may be the sleaze of Stardew, at least I'm rich.
Yes, there we go, millionaire. We have made a total of 1 million G.
I then took that hard-earned cash to the sewers where I could buy my 3rd star drop off Krobus. And then I caught a few fish needed for the collection, specifically the Dorado, the Ice Pip, and the Octopus. Now, I don't like the Octopus because you can only catch it between 6 AM and 1 PM. And if you're even lucky enough to hook the sucker, it's also a pain in the ass to catch. But after 8 days of trying, we finally took home the chocolates.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on! Let's go!
We then got a letter from Mayor Lewis, who is desperately asking for some oil, but won't tell us why. Now, even though this is my first time playing Stardew Valley, I quickly realized that Mayor Lewis and Marnie, well, they like to play golf with their bodies, if you catch my drift. Hence, the oil.
Hey, best friends. That's for getting 10 heart friend level with someone, and we got it with Mayor Lewis. Let's go.
He's got the oil now. Let's just hope that he's got a little blue pill, because God knows that he will need it. Moving on, we were able to find a pomegranate in the Fruitbat Cave and finally harvest our red cabbage, which means that we can finally finish off the bulletin board in the community center. Something I didn't realize at the time is that completing the bulletin board actually gives us +2 hearts to all non-dateable villages, meaning that we now had 7 villages at 10 hearts. And for the beloved farmer, we only need to get 1 more villager to 10 hearts. And it's only fitting that one of our girlfriends would be that person. But the real question is, which girlfriend would we choose? Now look, no shade on Emily. Lovely gal, she means well, but the blue hair, it just doesn't do it for me. So I had to follow my heart and choose Haley.
There we go. The beloved farmer. Reach a 10 heart friend level with 8 people.
Now on rainy days in Stardew Valley, given that we have 10 hearts with a boyfriend/girlfriend, we can buy a mermaid pendant from this guy. And after giving it to Haley, we were betrothed. Now back to more important things. Because we got so many people hearts through the community center, we got sent a bunch of cooking recipes. This is actually one of the main ways that we would collect recipes, and we still need to cook every single dish in the game. But for the moment, we will settle with just cooking 25.
Hey, there we go. Sous chef, that should be 25. Yep, cook 25 different recipes.
Summer was closing in, which meant I got to watch the Moonlight Jellies with Haley, and the very next day, we got married. But apparently, the message didn't quite get through to Emily.
I just married this chick's sister, and now she wants to go camping. Look, that's a bit extreme. I can't be doing that. It's a bit too early to be cheating.
Fall is here, which actually reminded me to plant a rare seed in the greenhouse. We were able to buy this seed from the traveling cart, and when it grows, it will become a sweet gem berry. This is how we would get our next star drop. So far, we have collected 3. We would get our next one for giving the berry to this statue in the secret woods, another for getting Haley to 13 hearts, and the final 2 for completing the museum and catching every fish in the game. Speaking of fish, it was time to catch Fall's legendary fish, the Angler, which I could get just north of JojaMart. And this one was hands down the easiest catch of them all. And the following day, it was raining, which meant that I could catch the walleye. The final fish that I needed to not only complete the fish tank, but actually the entire community center.
Oh, that might be it. Oh, that's it. The walleye. Yes. Oh my God, I can do it. I can complete the community center. Let's go. Everything's done. Night fishing bundle. Pop this bad boy here. And bundle complete. Let's go.
The very next day, we had a reopening ceremony and I would get my trophy.
Let's go. Local legend. We have finally completed the community center. Let's fucking go.
Completing the community center allows us to access Willy's boat, but first we would have to repair it, which costs 200 hardwood. Now that wouldn't be a problem, except we kind of spent all our hardwood upgrading our house. But hey, the silver lining is that getting that upgrade would earn us our very next trophy.
Living large. There we go. That's our house complete.
It was time to really dial in on a few grindy trophies, with full shipment and craft master being a priority, as they require us to ship and craft every single item in the game. So we shifted our focus to completing special orders, as we still needed to get a handful of crafting recipes from them. On top of this, we could go through the collections tab to see what we still needed to ship. This also helped us track how close we were to the polyculture trophy, which requires us to ship 15 of each crop. And after shipping the final few fall crops, we only needed the ancient fruit for the trophy, or so I thought.
Oh shit, polyculture. Ship 15 of each crop. I thought we still had to do the ancient fruit, I'm not gonna lie. But there we go. Sweet. Another trophy down.
Whilst on the subject of crops, our rare seed has finally grown into a sweet gem berry, and taking it to the secret woods would earn us star drop number 4. Around this time, we also managed to complete our 40th help wanted quest.
Hey, a big help. That's number 40, yeah? Complete 40 help wanted requests. There's no way to track how many you've done, so I've kind of just been doing them every day and banking that the trophy's gonna pop. So let's go, that's awesome.
And when we went to bed that night, something pretty special happened.
We can go to sleep. Oh, yo! I've never been asked that before. Should we have a baby? Yeah. Hell yeah. That's crazy. Good morning. Did you sleep well? You know I did.
Clearly, this was a huge step in our relationship, and it didn't take long before we reached 13 hearts with Haley, getting us our next star drop. The 27th of fall marks the day of the Spirits Eve Festival, aka Halloween in the Valley. Whilst here we could buy our 8th and final rare crow. There are 8 of these in total, and we needed to collect all of them to unlock the crafting recipe for the deluxe scarecrow. I'd say that this is probably the easiest crafting recipe to miss, as most of the rare crows can only be bought at the different festivals throughout the year. But that wasn't all that happened that day, as we also spent some time in the mines and managed to get our combat skill to level 10.
Master of the 5 ways. That is reach level 10 in every skill. We've got level 10 combat, final one we needed. That's awesome.
Winter was here and it was a huge season, as not only did Haley give birth to our first kid, Lucky, but we also gathered enough hardwood to repair Willy's boat, which meant that we could finally travel to Ginger Island. The island almost acts as a second base of operations, as here we can set up our own farm, explore new areas, and find a bunch of new items. To unlock everything, we would need to collect golden walnuts, and we ended up collecting 100 of these, which gained us access to Mr. Key's walnut room. And honestly, Mr. Key has a crazy setup here. To be fair, I wouldn't be shocked if he got someone like Stephen Hawking out here to design it. Anyway, on the left we can interact with another special order board, which will reward us with key gems for completing certain quests. We can then spend these gems at the store, and we will need to get at least 140 of them, as there are 5 crafting recipes in this store that we have to buy. Whilst on Ginger Island, we managed to fish up the 3 exclusive fish, being the lionfish, the blue discus, and the stingray. And after catching those, we only needed 8 more fish until we have caught them all. 3 of those I would be able to get at the submarine ride during the winter night market. Those being the midnight squid, the spookfish, and the blobfish, which I literally caught with seconds left in the day.
Yeah. The blobfish. Right on 2 o'clock and we have passed out, but we got the blobfish. Let's go.
We then completed the Dark Talisman questline, which unlocked both the Witch's Swamp and the Mutant Lair, where I could catch the Slime Jack and the Void Salmon. Then we caught the Scorpion Carp in the desert and the Lava Eel in the Ginger Island volcano, which meant that all that was left was the legend.
Oh my god, we got him. We got him. We got him. He's on the line. Oh my god, this is easy. My buff is worn off as well. Come on. Come on. Stay there. Stay there. Stay there. Stay there. Come on, buddy. Come. No. Fuck. Mate, how? Why are you zigzagging like that? Oh, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Man, I'm focusing. I'm losing him here. I'm losing him here. I'm waiting for him to do a mad dash. Oh, we're on. We're on. No. Come on. Come on. Up, 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 up. Up. No. No, no, no. Come on. Oh, we're on. We're on. We're on. We're on. Yes! Yes! Legend! Master Angler. Catch every fish. Let's go! We did it. We did it. The legend. Let's go.
And because we caught every fish, we would receive our 6th star drop. It was then time to go for a complete collection by completing the museum. So far, we nearly had every artifact and all but one mineral. That one mineral is the Lemon Stone, which has a 4% chance from opening Magma Geodes and a 1% chance from Omni Geodes. We could easily farm Omni Geodes in the Skull Caverns by taking out carbon ghosts and simply by blowing up rocks. And it did take me over 150 of them, but eventually we managed to find what we were looking for.
Oh, is that it? Oh my god, Lemon Stone. Yes. Oh, that's all the minerals done. Let's go.
The final 3 artifacts that I needed were the chipped amphora, the trilobite, and the green strange doll. By taking Omni Geodes to the desert trader, I would be able to exchange them for artifact troves, which have a 3.6% chance of giving me the amphora. The trilobite, on the other hand, wasn't as easy, as I can only get it from digging artifact spots in the beach, forest, and mountains, as well as by breaking bone nodes in the Ginger Island dig site. And I spent countless days farming geodes and trying to get the trilobite, but I never had any luck. Thankfully, that would all change on the 16th of summer, a day that could go down as one of the greatest Stardew Valley days of all time. It starts off with me heading to the forge at the top of the volcano, where I upgraded my Galaxy Sword to the Infinity Blade, giving us the best sword in the game. We then took 29 artifact troves to Clint's shop, in hopes of getting the chipped amphora. And on the 5th last one, this happened.
Oh, that might be it. Yes, yes, yes. The chipped amphora. Let's go. That's awesome. That is awesome.
We then were able to solve the secret Node 17's treasure map, which would guarantee me the green strange doll. And what happens next is something you can't even script, because I then took these artifacts to the museum and donated them both, leaving only one to go, the trilobite. So for shits and gigs, I went straight to the beach to see if I could try my luck at getting the 1% artifact that I needed.
Oh my god, the first one, the first one. Oh my god, that is crazy. That is crazy. I just donated all the other artifacts and I've come here. The very first one. Holy shit. That's nuts. I was not expecting that. Let's go. I literally just donated all the rest of the other artifacts, which means if I donate this, a complete collection, complete the museum collection. There we go. That took so long, but we did it. That's awesome. And we get a star drop for this, which will be our final star drop, which means we should get another trophy. So there we go. And yes, mystery of the star drops. That is for obtaining every single star drop. Oh yes. What a day. What a day. We got our final artifact. We got our final star drop. and Haley wants to make love. This is perfect. This is perfect. Should we have a baby? Yes, we should.
Next, it was time to work on full shipment by shipping every single item. After shipping all the Ginger Island crops and items, there were only 4 remaining. 2 of those I was able to get by accepting the Dangers in the Deep quest in Mr. Key's Walnut Room. What this does is essentially make the mines more difficult and challenges us to reach the bottom within the week. It also adds radioactive nodes into these mines, which we can mine to get radioactive ore. After turning some of the ore into a bar, we could ship both of these items, leaving just the rabbit's foot and the ostrich egg. I luckily had a rabbit's foot waiting for me in my coop, but unfortunately, getting an ostrich egg wouldn't be as easy. See, just like the strange doll artifact, we could guarantee ourselves an ostrich egg by getting journal scrap number 10 on Ginger Island. And this took literally forever, but we eventually got it and dug ourselves up the ostrich egg. Next, we unlock the ostrich incubator crafting recipe by completing the island field office. Now, I could have just shipped the egg that we got, but where's the fun in that? So instead, I incubated it and waited for it to hatch into a baby ostrich. Speaking of incubation, Haley finished doing that with our second child, who I decided to name
Tata. Full house. There we go. We have got married and have finally had 2 children.
Our ostrich then grew up, pooped out an egg of its own, and shipping that would finally get us full shipment.
There it is, full shipment. That is for shipping every single item in the game.
By this point, we also had a fully functioning ancient fruit farm that was producing hundreds of ancient fruit each week. And pair that with 2 sheds filled with kegs, we were making tons of gold by selling wine, even managing to cross over 10 million gold earned.
Yep, there we go. Legend. That is for making a total of 10 million gold in our lifetime in Stardew Valley. And we just made over $1 million this night alone.
Gourmet Chef was next, requiring us to cook every single dish. Like I mentioned earlier, most of the recipes we would get by being friends with various villagers. Well, another way to get them would be by purchasing them off Gus. And for our final recipe, Tropical Curry, we can only buy it from Gus when he is visiting the resort at Ginger Island. Just like a few of the other final trophies, this one also requires a bit of RNG luck, as there isn't a set schedule for when villagers come to the resort. But after sleeping and checking the resort for a handful of days, Gus was finally there.
Oh, he's here. He's here. Gustavo, my man. Oh, there it is. Tropical curry recipe, the final recipe that we need. My man Gustavo. So as soon as we cook this, we should get the trophy. There it is. Gourmet Chef. That is for cooking every single food item in the game. Let's go.
For Protector of the Valley, we need to complete all the monster eradication goals in the Adventurers Guild. These goals require us to kill a certain amount of each enemy type in the game. To increase our efficiency, we decided to use Monster Musk, which we received as a recipe for completing one of the special orders. This essentially doubles the amount of enemies that we encounter per floor, which led to situations like this.
Whoa, okay, that is a lot of enemies. That is a lot of enemies, holy shit.
The final enemy type we needed to take out could be found in the Skull Caverns. And after taking out 100 mummies and 250 serpents, all that was left was the Pepper Rexes.
Yes, prehistoric floor. We should get it. Yes, Protector of the Valley. We've completed all the Adventure Guild Monster Slayer goals. There we go.
Getting all the crafting recipes was one of the most tedious grinds for getting this platinum trophy, because there were so many different methods and ways to obtain them all. But after buying the last few recipes we needed from Robin and in the Walnut Room, all that was left was completing one final special order. And after shipping 100 taro root for Emily, we would complete it and earn our final recipe, the solar panel. Except this wasn't the final recipe. See, as it turns out, I missed one recipe. The Tub of Flowers, which can only be bought from Pierre during the flower dance in spring. So, I slept through until then, bought the recipe, danced with Haley, and then went home.
The Tub o' Flowers. Here we go. There it is. Craft Master. We have crafted every item in Stardew Valley. Let's bloody go.
As an upstanding Stardew Valley citizen, I can't help but dislike Joja Corporation. And look, that's saying a lot, because Pierre, well, he's a bit of a dick. But for the trophy Joja Co Member of the Year, I have to become a full Joja shill by buying a membership and unlocking all the development perks. Now, because I had already completed the community center, I couldn't do this on my main save. So instead, I created a brand new one and began farming money in one of the fastest ways possible, clay farming. This is a common strategy used by many Stardew Valley speedrunners. And in winter, instead of clay, I can farm winter forageables, which sell for way more. I specifically got this strategy from Shawnee Doo's Joja speedrun here. And after a couple of hours, I was able to save up the 140,000 gold needed to purchase not just the Joja membership, but also all the development projects, earning me the next trophy.
There it is, Joja Corporation Member of the Year. And we've received a soda machine. Happy days.
It was finally time to conquer a trophy that I had been dreading since day one. Fector's Challenge. To get this, we have to beat the minigame Journey of the Prairie King without dying. And because you die in one hit, we have to essentially beat it without taking any damage. This trophy is actually that difficult that Concerned Ape, the sole creator of Stardew Valley, tweeted saying that he regrets how difficult he made it. But thankfully in the 1.5 update, he implemented a feature that would make it 10 times more achievable. See, in Prairie King, there are 3 stages with each stage having 4 or 5 levels. Now each time that we clear a level, we can back out of the arcade system and go to sleep in our bed to save our progress. The next day, we can simply pick back up from where we saved. And if we end up dying, all we had to do was back out to the title screen and restart our day. This is what would be known as save scumming, and we were going to abuse the ever-living hell out of it. Journey of the Prairie King itself is a twin-stick shooter, where we have to survive and kill enemies until this timer runs out. When we kill an enemy, they have a chance to drop both power-ups and coins. The power-ups give us temporary buffs such as increasing our speed and fire rate, whereas coins on the other hand can be spent at the in-game vendor, which appears every few levels. My plan was to repeat the first level as many times as I could until I had a respectable amount of coins. For me, that number was 7, and it took me 16 attempts just to do this. Look, I will say for the most part it was a skill issue, but I did have my fair share of dumb fuck luck.
My god, oh my god, no! Oh, my controller disconnected. Are you fucking kidding me right now?
We slowly and painfully made our way down to stage 2 and bought the ammo upgrade, which would help us in taking out the stronger enemies down the line. But that didn't stop me from dying several times. In fact, this game would put me through so much trauma that beating a level made me celebrate like Moist Critical.
Let's go, baby! Woo!
But of course, it didn't take long for me to quickly get put in my place.
No, oh. Fuck!
But somehow, with a lot of patience and even more sheer fucking will, I was able to beat the rest of stage 2 and 3 and make it to the final boss, Fector himself.
Yep, this is the final level. Holy shit, I'm scared.
Something to point out is that in the last stage, I was able to save up a Sheriff's Badge power-up, which combines all the other shooting and speed power-ups. This would make this boss fight a lot easier, but clearly not enough, as we kinda got fucked up.
Oh, you motherfucker, I swear to fuck.
Dying 9 times in a row sucks, but it hurts even more when you get so close.
Where did he go? Where did he go? Oh, okay. What? What? Look at his health! Look at his health, man!
And then, out of nowhere, we had the run.
Looking good. Dodge, dodge, dodge. Pop the ability. Get in the gap, get in the gap, get in the gap. Oh. Oh, close. Oh, very close, very close, very close, very close, very close, very close, very close. Come on. Back. Oh, what the? No, no. I died. Even though I killed him, I died. And I'm not risking that. We killed each other at the same time. I'm not risking that. No, we have come too far to take any risks. We have come way too far to take any risks. So we're just gonna go again. Come on, Fector, you fugly little thing. All right, looking good. This is good. Whoop-ah. Pop the ability. Mass damage. Oh. Alright, he's getting weird. He's moving around. But so am I. Wait. That's it. I didn't die. That's it, right? Come on. Yes? That's it. Surely. Prairie King. Okay, I swear to God, if Fector's challenge doesn't pop up right now, oh my God, I'm either gonna cry or punch a hole in my monitor. Please. Yes. Fector's challenge. We have done it, which means Iridium Seal Stardew Valley's Platinum Trophy. Oh my God, what a game, what a journey. We have done it. Let's go. After 100 plus hours, I can happily say that I have perfected and platinum Stardew Valley. It kind of would be crazy if I hypothetically went and maxed out every friendship, found every walnut, and bought a giant golden clock just to say that I had beat this game. The only thing that would top that would be finally beating Abigail in the egg hunt. But I guess we'll never know.